I'm Harrison Graham. Here's what we got coming up on Chicago Bears Now. Rome Odunze, a rookie report from ESPN. Want to react to that and give my thoughts. Plus, could the Bears sign free agent Connor Williams? An update on his recovery from a torn ACL. We'll get to all of that here on today's show. But we got our subscriber battle in the month of June, and this is the 10 leading channels right now here at Chat Sports, and interdivision team leading the way. Vikings now at 520 subs. We're at 399 here on Bears Now. So we got to close that gap, get more subscribers. We're 121 behind? I think we get 121 new subs on this video alone. But spread the word. If you want free daily Bears content, let's win this battle here in the month of June with the most subscribers. We appreciate your support. All right, let's talk about Rome Odunze. Is he developing fast? Is he impressing? I would say that's a pretty safe yes, as Courtney Cronin again here with the report saying that he has impressed coaches so far. Here's a snippet from her report saying the Bears have lined up the number 9 pick at all 3 receiver spots, X, Z, and the slot, and tapped into his ability to run a varied route tree, which coaches believe will create mismatches that favor the offense. I think that's a really good way for him, and I think this one's from Matt Eberflus as well, kind of at the end of that Cronin quote, saying, I think that's a really good way for him, and I think that was really mature on his part to be able to actually discern and understand how he learns best. So kind of talking about like, hey, we're going to move him around, different routes from different spots, kind of learn on the fly, and there was also a snippet in there, his ability to recite plays on his own in practice in that regard, and look, it kind of tells me it's all systems go for Odunze. This is a guy that they feel confident in putting out there early and often and being able to contribute. Matt Eberflus said at the end of minicamp that he was the most impressive player at minicamp. Now, I don't know if he literally means like he was the best player out there. That would be a bit surprising, but he was asked to impress you most, and without hesitation, he said Rome, a rookie player. Like that felt intentional to me from Matt Eberflus. And look, this is a player that should come in and play at a high level early, right? Like I feel like there's been, a bit of a tapping of the brakes because, well, you have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, and that's a beautiful thing, and it buys you time if he does need to develop and kind of ease into this a little bit, but that hasn't been his approach. Caleb Williams was asked about it. He said, yeah, he wants to play, and he wants to play a lot. Matt Eberflus hasn't scaled back the excitement for Rome Odunze. Like, they expect him to come in here and play a lot. Now, again, the beauty is, well, you got DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, so if Rome struggles or isn't quite ready to have a big role, like, it's not the end of the world, but I also think they're going to want to run a lot of 11 personnel, 3 wide receiver sets, and if Odunze's all systems go, I expect him to play a lot, and I do think that's the approach early here. Like, I think he is going to play a good amount for this football team. This isn't an ease him in setup. Like, they're not inching him to the starting line here. Like, he's going to start, and he's going to play a lot. Now, is he going to get as many snaps as DJ and Keenan? Probably not, because in 2 wide receiver sets, those 2 will be the primary guys. But I do think he will play a lot, and it wouldn't shock me if he had 800, 900, 1,000 yards. I think anything is possible. He's got the talent to do it. He's got the mentality. He's got the work ethic. He clearly has picked up the offense very fast. Keenan Allen talked about how, I think what's impressed me most is no issues with where he's supposed to line up. He seems to know the plays. He's running the routes. So, that type of stuff usually is what takes longer. It's like, I got to know the calls and the plays. Well, it seems like he's picked up that stuff very quick. So he wants to be out there, and I expect him to be out there a lot. Training camp should be a good test for him. How high are your expectations for Rome Odunze this year? Not in general. I think we all have pretty high expectations for him, in his career here in Chicago. But this year, scale of 0 to 10, I'd probably go like 8.5, man. Like, I expect him to be more than a minor contributor. Now, could he be a really good contributor and still be the 3rd, even 4th weapon in this offense? Yeah, that's possible because you have a lot of weapons. But I do think there will be a few games where he has 100 yards and you're not surprised by it. So I expect a day one contributor, and I mean that in a more than a just like, hey, go catch 30 balls for 400 yards this season. I think he'll be much more impactful than that as a rookie. And if you're a big fan of Rome Odunze, or if you're just looking for a new jersey, why not get a Rome one? Chatsports.com/Rome. Pick one up today. Got plenty of sizes available for you guys. That link is going to be in the comments and in the description. Chatsports.com/Rome. Pick up a Rome Odunze jersey today. Let's talk Connor Williams. We've talked about him off and on throughout the offseason. I think if healthy, the top free agent still out there at this point in time. Adam Schefter provided an update on his status, saying former Cowboys and Dolphins center Connor Williams, who's coming off a season-ending knee surgery, expects to be ready for the start of the season and is in discussions with multiple teams about where to play in 2024. He plans to pick his new team before training camp begins. So for most teams, that's about a month, 5 weeks for some teams, in that July 20th range. That's when training camps kind of get going here. And look, I'm still very interested. I tweeted this yesterday. I don't think the Bears will be super interested. I don't think they'll sign him, especially if he wants to sign with the team before training camp. I don't think the Bears will be that team. They strike me more of okay, if we get into training camp and someone gets hurt or Nate Davis isn't where we want him to be or the center situation's a mess, then they could sign him. But if he's going to sign before training camp, I doubt Chicago's that team. But I still wish they would go down this path, because I still think you've got concerns on the interior of this offensive line. Do I think Ryan Bates and Coleman Shelton is a better situation than Cody Whitehair and Lucas Patrick? Yeah, but is it way better? I don't know. Teven Jenkins, obviously great player, but he has an injury history. Nate Davis, we don't know what the hell's going on with him. Is he reliable when he's healthy? Can he play at a high level? Outside of a few games last year, he didn't really do that. So coming up in a second, I do want to go through a few reasons of why Chicago should sign Connor Williams still. Again, I don't think they will. They traded a pick for Ryan Bates. They signed Coleman Shelton. Nate Davis is making starter money. Teven Jenkins is a good player, so I would guess they won't. But I'm going to make the argument that they should here in just a moment. But I want to hear from you guys first. Would you sign Connor Williams? Type S for sign or P for pass. Make the call down in the comments section. All right, 3 reasons why I think they should sign Connor Williams. Number 1, it is a clear upgrade at center if he is healthy. Again, I think Ryan Bates and Coleman Shelton will be better options than what you've had in the last few years. Sam Mustipher, Lucas Patrick, Cody Whitehair. I do think these guys will be better, and obviously they don't make a ton of money. You traded a 5th-round pick for Bates, so that's an investment. Coleman Shelton, I think you gave him a couple $1 million. No huge cap hit there. So I do think there'll be minor upgrades. But Connor Williams, if he's back and healthy, you're talking about one of the best centers in the NFL. Now, did he play probably a little better than he has throughout his career last year? Yeah, but it's a similar offense, that Mike McDaniel offense coming from the Shanahan tree, Shane Waldron coming from the McVay tree, a lot of overlap in those offensive systems. He was the number 2 graded center per PFF last year. He played at a very, very high level. Now, I get it. He's coming off an ACL. The year before he was good, but not as good as that. But still, even if he's the number 12 center, it's still an upgrade over what you have. I think at this point, you're kind of give me 20th level center play with Ryan Bates and Coleman Shelton, and you're pretty happy. So I don't think, unless the knee is a major issue, which obviously you would do, a physical and a deep medical check if you were to sign him to make sure he passes all that, it would be an upgrade. I think that's pretty clear. Number 2, it gives you a bit of an insurance policy for Nate Davis. Listen, I hope I'm wrong. I really do, but I have concerns. And I get last year he had the family death, and some of us probably jumped the gun a little bit too much, myself included. But you fast forward to this offseason, it's kind of more of the same. And unless a new report comes out with he has another familial situation, it kind of just feels like this is kind of what he is. He doesn't like to practice that much. He has an injury history. I don't know, man. Training camp's going to tell us a lot about Nate Davis. If he's in there every day practicing and it seems like things are going well, hey, that's awesome. But he skipped most of OTAs. He only had 1 practice that he went through at minicamp. And Connor Williams was a 4-year starter at guard for Dallas. So if you have issues with Nate Davis, if you're concerned there, Williams could play guard if you need him to. Or you could sign him, he plays center, and Ryan Bates plays guard. You would have that flexibility if you brought him in here. Teven Jenkins can play both guard spots. So you can, move him back to right guard, Connor Williams at left guard, which is the position he played in Dallas. So, Again, that's why I don't think they'll sign him, because I think that's a situation that pops up like mid-late training camp, like, oh, we may have a Nate Davis problem here. I don't think the Bears are there yet, but doing some foreshadowing, you could certainly see that be the case. I mean, say what you want, and again, I hope I'm wrong. Nate Davis has not been reliable up to this point. I think that's fair to say. Okay, number 3. It's probably pretty affordable at this point, and it's probably a one-year deal. Coming off a knee injury, you're into June, might be July by the time he signs. I don't think you're breaking the bank for Connor Williams. Now, maybe you have to give him a decent base salary of $5 or $6 million and then some incentives to get more, but you could structure it where his cap hit is $3-4 million bucks. Like that's very possible, and the Bears have the money to do it. They've got over $22 million. They still haven't signed Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, so that's going to get down to 12. But if Connor Williams' cap hit is $3-4 million bucks, you're still at 8 or 9. And by the way, you're going to cut some guys. Like if Larry Borom doesn't make this team, that frees up over $3 million bucks. If you cut Travis Homer, that frees up over $2 million. Like you've got moves you can make if you're trying to get that cap up a little bit heading into the season. So I don't think Williams would cost a ton. I think you could sign him to like an incentive-laden deal where it's cap friendly, especially coming off the injury in this late in the free agency process. So again, I ask you, would you sign Connor Williams? S for sign, P for pass. I would sign him. I think the interior could use another body in there, a proven player like Connor Williams who can play multiple spots. I think there's really no downside to making this move if you are the Chicago Bears. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode of Bears Now by Chat Sports. We'll be back with another episode this afternoon, so be sure to subscribe and join us. Of course, we'll have our live show tomorrow at 4 o'clock Central Time on Thursday, our latest Madden simulation as well. We'll see you then. Bear down.